Hey, what's up YouTube? We're working on a 2001 Buick Lesabre here today. It is the custom version, and it has the rear air shocks with the leveling system on it. The air shock on the right is blown out, left one doesn't look far behind. It's actually pretty rusted. So we're going to go ahead and replace those air shocks. I already did the one side. So this is the part number that we're using. Got these advanced. These are the Monroe. So it basically allows it to just be an equal replacement to what's in there. It comes with a 2-year warranty, so the car's not driven much, so hopefully these ones outlast the other ones anyway. This is the one air shock. As you can see, all the grease and everything on it, it's completely blown out, as you can see. Already did this side, but we're going to do a quick video and show you how to do this. So this is this side here already done. Those can be a little difficult because they got a lot of corrosion in them. Getting those little fasteners out of there. Goes up in there, as you can see, the little air line right there, and it bolts up in the trunk. So the first thing we're going to do is, now this car's already missing the little thingy here that holds the, it's like a fastener plastic screw-on clip that screws on there and it holds the carpet back. It's already missing, so that kind of worked out in our advantage. So we're just going to pull this carpet back, and this exposes what we're looking for. So you got to take this little cover off here. It's like a rubber cover, and that top bolt is what we're looking for, that we're going to need access to. Now the factory ones inside the trunk here for the top of the shock, they are actually 15 millimeter, and so we're going to sit that. I still got to put that other one back on, I forgot. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to get you set up on tripod here and see if we can get a good video here today. We're going to get you set up here. See pretty much everything we're doing here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this wheel. It is going to be 19 millimeter. I'm going to use some air tools. It'll make this a little easier for it. This little decker cap on my particular wheel just pulls off, which is convenient. Get my air. Try not to knock you guys over in the process. Okay. So let me get all this stuff out of the way. Let's take these lug nuts off here. I've already jacked up and supported the vehicle, obviously. I mean, kind of a given, but figured I'd just mention it. Move the tire out of the way. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to crack that nut loose in the trunk, because we need these bottom fasteners that hold it onto the bottom of the control arm knuckle here. We need the shock not to be twisting around when we're trying to do this. So I need to get a 15 millimeter, which I have right here. Now obviously this might be different. If you've changed your shocks already, this obviously might be different to do. So take you up into the trunk with me here and try not to knock you over. Let's get the carpet out of the way. Put that down. Let's see, can you see what we're looking for here? Let me get you tilted down. Sorry for the shaky camera. Alright, so we're going on that. Got a nice breaker bar ratchet here. Compliments of the Harbor Freight. So usually, in a perfect world, these should just come loose here. Keep in mind when you're doing this, you want to keep an eye on the orientation of these little caps, these steel caps that are on here. So that way you remember what direction to put them on. Do one side at a time, so if you forget, you can always refer to the other side. So, alright, so the new ones come with the nut and these little mount caps. So that's all we got to do in there. We're just going to put these aside. We're going to go back outside again. Fairly easy job. We're going to sit these in a magnetic dish. And now, what I'm going to do is move my tools over so I can get you set up in a good place. So let me give you a close-up. So we're taking out this and this from the bottom. The problem is they just have these little metal clips that they screw into, and the other side broke, but I managed to hold it still with vice grips to reinstall it. So I would assume you could probably use bolts on those too. So let me take a look here and get you refocused here. Okay, so that should give you a good idea of what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the jack, find a good spot under the controller here, where it's not getting in the way. I'm going to jack it up. And I'm jacking it up on a good flat area of the control arm here, just to take the tension of the spring off so the spring doesn't fling out on us. And you have to be careful because there's a leveling mechanism on here that may break if you're not careful. So that's why it's important to support the control arm, because the shock is what actually holds this from bottoming completely out. And there's back here off camera, there's a little leveling sensor. Snap right off if you're not careful. So now, to loosen these, we're going to see how easy these are going to cooperate. We're going to get a 10 millimeter. I'm going to try this little mini impact, but I have a feeling I may regret this. I might have to just get a thing. This one looks like it's already broke. Oh, that worked out well. Now this one is already broke. I'll show you here. Kind of hard to show you, but I'll show you shortly. But you can see all that corrosion on there, all that powder. It could also be thread locked too, I'm not sure, but it looks like corrosion. Put that aside and see if I can get the other one off now. Like I said, these are 10s. Alright, so we're going to have to use the old-fashioned elbow grease on this one. I got an 3-inch extension and a 10 and my ratchet. I'm going to go up on there and I'm going to try to crack it loose here, make sure it's unloosened. And these nuts under here. There we go. Now once you get it moving, you might be able to save yourself some. I sprayed these down ahead of time, which was much recommended because they are tight, tight, tight. Alright, now that I got that loose, we're going to try one more time with the electric mini impact here. I don't want to really use air tools. Beautiful. And a lot of corrosion on that one too, so I'm going to put that aside and we'll clean it up. Now we're going to work on getting the strut apart. Now that's where it gets a little tricky. There is a clip. I'm going to see if I can get you guys in here to see what I'm seeing, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Let's see what you're looking at here. Take a look, see here. A little bit further, huh? That's about the max that I can go with this. There we go. Okay, so right here is the little thing that you gotta, that's the air hose. Now to get that out, there's this metal clip that you gotta separate to get it out. Now it could be a little tricky. You gotta spread it apart and pull down all at the same time, which can be a little fun. You don't want to break these because then there'll be one more thing that you'll have to fix. So I need a screwdriver here. That seems to be MIA. So I'm going to pause here for a minute while I grab a screwdriver here. So hold tight, folks. Okay, we're back on. Now you could probably use snap-on rings or snap ring tools to do this. What I'm trying to do is get at the top of it here and pull it apart and down at the same time. Which it looks like it's somewhat cooperating here. Which it kind of did. So there. A little tricky, but it's not terrible. So this little clip, let me see if it's picking up, has a kind of separates and it stretches and it's springy and it's what holds it together. I'm going to put that in a very safe place because of course it doesn't come with one. I replaced. Now you got to be careful with these plastic lines. They're going to be brittle. Plus they don't come with any replacement stuff. So now that that's done, we should be able to just pull straight down like this. There we go. And now we got to retrieve these little metal clips. Have to come off because you got to reuse these. So I'm going to pull them off there with some pliers. Easier said than done, right? One side's going to be a fun one to get off. A little bit on the corroded side too. So I got one off. Can't really see much at this point, but I'll try to turn it so you can see. Of course, this camera thing is terrible. There we go. Now let's see if you can see what I'm doing here. So what I'm trying to do is get this off of here, but unfortunately this one here, the inside of the clip kind of broke a little bit. There we go. Now it should slide off perfect. So save those, and then we're going to be able to go ahead and put them on the new one. So what we're going to do is go ahead and get the new strut, or shock I should say. I keep calling it a strut. Throw that thing away. The new shock. Okay. And what I found to be easier is to first go up in the trunk and get this thing situated first. So in this package here, comes with this little package of a replacement nut and like a locking nut, a little cup. So what we'll do then is we'll go ahead and get that situated so we can put that back on the new one here. And of course I've already forgotten what direction it goes, but I'm pretty sure it goes like this. It's the wrong one. That answers that question. Yeah, that's interesting. They don't fit. The other side fit. What happened, guys? Interesting. I mean, I can always reuse the old one. Oh, it's just got paint on it, that's why. So the paint was on here and it was just causing a little bit of a ridge and I didn't want to lower down. So you want to make sure that your air inlet is situated in the right direction. And then we're going to take this cap here and it's got to go the bellowed side, I guess. I don't know what you'd say, down. So I'm going to go and I'm going to stand in front of you and I'm going to go ahead and walk this up in through the insert there. Just make sure it's a good time to inspect the mount and everything too to make sure it's good. Keeping the orientation of this towards the back. So I'm going to go ahead and up here and get up in your grill for a minute. Get that into place. And then I'm going to reach around up top, if I can get up there. Stand over you. Feel around it. Drop the nut down on there. I'm just going to I got probably a good 5 or 10 threads at least in there so that I could go ahead and let's see, what are you guys looking at now here? Alright, that should be a good place for you. Got a bunch of threads on this to hold everything in place. Now, this is just held by air, so you can actually pull this down now. Okay, we are back. So I'm going to go ahead and tilt the camera down here so you can see that area. I was able to get the shock to expand. I had to take it back off and stand on the bottom of the shock and lift up on it. Apparently when they paint these, they get overspray on it and the paint kind of was making it stick. So now, make sure our little areas down here don't have any debris in them. We're going to put back on these clips in which that go on there. So I'm going to try to flatten that one back out a little bit. And they go with the little notch goes facing up. So it goes on like this. So we're going to go ahead and put that on like so. And have that ready to go. Like so. That's one side. And then we're going to go ahead and put the other side on. That goes like that. Over that, like that. Whoops, wrong way. Upside down, guys. Sorry. First day at the job here, apparently. Come on. So I put that like that. Now, that again. Okay, I don't know what's best. I'll try it that way first and see if that works. That might actually work better. Okay. So now, I'll go ahead and pull the shock down like so. Come on, I gotta put a little... Whoop, now you're looking at my crotch. try that again. See him again. Pull that down. And get these bolts and run that up through. And usually once you catch one of them, that'll hold the shock down. So that one's run up through. So you kind of take a look here. So as you can see, I run it up through the bottom. There's these two holes in the bottom. So we're going to run this one through the hole here, one-handed. This is fun. Oh, I have to turn the shock back a little bit. It got pulled. There we go. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to run it through one-handed. This ain't working out, but let's see. There we go. And you just start twisting it in. Just like that. And at both sides. Now I'm going to go ahead and sit you back down while I get some tools, and I'm going to work on that now. I'm going to spray them a little bit with some penetrating fluid because they were really stiff. I'm going to try to do this with the impact. It'll make life a little easier if it'll work, so we'll try that first. Beautiful. Run them down. Alright, here goes the air compressor. Now I'm going to take my ratchet here, and I'm going to go ahead and give them a little extra snug just to make sure. Perfect. Do that one. Perfect. Now, everything's good. We've got the strut bolted down, or shock, I keep calling it a strut, and goes up in there. Got our little clip back in again. Air hose pushed on. It's not going anywhere. Now the air hose can pop out like that, so you want to make sure it's clipped back into its little area right there. Looks good. The mount's good. So we're going to go up top now, and for whatever reason, like I said, they like to switch stuff around, so now it's a 17. So let me get you back up top and I'll show you what to do there. Alright, we're back up in the trunk. We got a 17 millimeter now because the aftermarket uses 17. Now it's hard to see probably in the camera, but the top of this is flat. The shaft coming through, so if you need to put something on there like vice grips or some kind of pliers and use a wrench, you can. That will enable you to hold the shock from turning inside of itself, because if you turn it too much, you could potentially damage the inside of the shock cylinder. So we didn't have any problems on the other side, so hopefully I don't on this side. So you basically just crack it down like that, and that should be good. I mean, that's not going anywhere, so I'm happy with that. Shock mount looks good. A little corrosion, nothing major though. And then we'll put our rubber boot on. Keeps everything dry and protected. Still got to put the other one on the other side yet, so it's going to be in a minute here. Beautiful. And the rug goes back up in there. Like you said, it's missing a little thing that holds it in place, but that's okay. And then we're going to go ahead and flip around to this side. And I'm going to pull the carpet back down for a minute. I don't think we're going to see anything here. And put it back on this side that I forgot to do earlier. So we'll go ahead and push that down. Beautiful. Carpet back to the customer. And that's it. We'll go ahead and let the jack down here. I told him the control arm. We're going to go ahead and turn the ignition on. You don't have to start the car, just put it in the on position and let the air system prime itself, the air ride, and just make sure you don't have any leaks. Put your ear next to this little valve where it plugs in, and also check the shock for leaks. And then we'll go ahead and get the wheel back on, torqued it to factory specs. That's it, guys. I mean, like I said, that's your air shocks on a 2001 Buick Lesabre. Very, very easy to do in my opinion. And this side actually was slightly more difficult than the passenger side, but that's because the other side, one of the little clips broke, the retaining clips, but I just held it with vice grips to get it back on, and that worked out fine. This side, they have a lot of overspray. I don't know if you can see that from when they painted them, and it was causing the shock to stick, so I had to use my feet to hold the shock down at the bottom on the ground and pull it up and get it unstuck so it can drop. This is the old one from this side. So for this job, if you use this particular part, number, this Monroe. I'll show you one more time. That's the part number from Advanced Auto. I think after coupon code I got it for probably $65 plus tax. After coupon code, it came with both. I think I did the Retail Me Not website and I found a promo code, did an online order for in-store pickup. They had it at my local auto parts. And like I said, it does come with the extra little caps. I guess the upper mount and the extra little fasteners and stuff. This is the one that was blown out again. See, that's all grease all over. That's completely shot. So I will drive it here. If you don't hear from me again and you don't get another video about this, then that means everything went well. Like I said, throw the wheel back on, take it for a drive, check for leaks, and that should be it. That was probably one of the easier jobs I've done. And give you another view of this, just in case you guys are doing this yourself. It goes up in there. The only thing you want to make sure you got to be careful with too is this leveling system here. As you can see, if you don't support the control arm with a jack like I did, this thing can get overextended and busted off, or strip the gears out in it. Some people actually choose to disconnect this. It's pretty rusted. I'm not going to play with it, so I'll just keep it supported with a jack, because when you take the shock off, it'll overextend this control arm and it could damage the leveling sensor. So other than that, guys, that's it. We're going to wrap this up, throw the wheels back on, and like I said, if you don't hear from me again, that means, you know, thumbs up, everything went good. So thanks for watching.